Good, super happy. Not the way maybe Alex would have wanted. And we're super happy of getting into the fourth round.
Court 12 at the All England Club may not be tennis's biggest stage. Yet on June 30th, 2026, it seemed like the loudest court in all of the Philippines. Over 10,000 miles from Manila, millions of Filipino fans watched as a historic moment unfolded before them. Our champion was sitting in the player box. A father tried his best to hold back his emotions, but he simply couldn't. His daughter had just delivered a dominant 6-1, 6-2 victory. That daughter was the number 29 seed, Alex Eala. And with that win, she became the first Filipino player in history to win a Wimbledon main draw match as a seeded competitor. It was a milestone captured by cameras around the world, filled with genuine pride and emotion. But while the broadcast focused on the victory, Filipino social media was buzzing about something much more personal, something no television camera had ever shown before. It was a story connected to a penthouse in Ocean View and a promise Alex made when she was only 13, years before she ever boarded a plane to Mallorca to pursue her dream. Subscribe now and become part of the community that believed in her journey before the rest of the world noticed. The people who believed in Alex Eala before everyone else caught on are still here. If you've been following her journey from the very beginning, consider this your place in the story. To understand why an entire nation celebrated that final score with such powerful emotion, you need to go back 8 years. Years before Alex became a Wimbledon seed, she was simply a young girl training at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, chasing a dream that at the time seemed almost impossible to achieve. Her father, Mike, a former competitive swimmer, put his own ambitions on hold to travel with her to the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, fully committing himself to supporting her goal of building a professional tennis career. Meanwhile, her mother, Riza, a former Southeast Asian Games bronze medal-winning swimmer, continued her executive role at Globe Telecom while living out of suitcases, constantly traveling between Manila, Mallorca, and tournament locations around the world to support her daughter. Their sacrifice was summed up perfectly by the Philippine Daily Inquirer, which described them as always present but never intrusive. It was a simple phrase that captured years of quiet dedication and support behind Alex's rise. Then, during the same week as her historic Wimbledon victory, Filipino social media exploded with a rumor that transformed those years of sacrifice into an emotional story. According to posts spreading online, Alex had secretly used her prize money to buy an Ocean View penthouse overlooking Manila Bay as a gift for her parents, a gesture that, if true, would be a remarkable way of giving back to the family who sacrificed so much to help her pursue her dream. The viral post claimed that the gift was Alex's tribute to her father, the man who left behind life around a swimming pool for countless hours standing beside a tennis baseline. It also claimed that he was overwhelmed with emotion when he received the keys. It was a heartfelt story that quickly touched the hearts of fans throughout the Philippines. However, one important point needs to be made clear. Neither Alex Eala nor any member of her family has publicly confirmed the claim, and no credible Philippine news organization has independently verified it. For now, the story remains limited to viral social media posts, where passionate fans often celebrate their sporting heroes with stories that spread much faster than the facts. Still, the reason this rumor attracted so much attention was never simply the idea of a luxury penthouse. It was the deeper meaning behind the story. Filipino fans are not just discussing whether Alex actually bought her parents a home. They are wondering whether she has finally reached the stage in her career where she could do something like this, and whether, after all the sacrifices her family made, she has earned the chance to give something truly special back. That emotional question is exactly what made the rumor seem believable to so many fans. And to understand why, you need to start with the numbers that made the story seem possible in the first place. As of the time of this research, Alex Eala has earned $871,438 in prize money during the 2026 season, according to the WTA's official prize money rankings. Just 3 years ago, she was a promising junior seeking wild cards and opportunities to prove herself. Today, in just 6 months, she has earned more prize money than many Filipino tennis players collect throughout their entire careers. Whether the penthouse story is true or not, one fact remains undeniable. The financial possibility is no longer beyond her reach. But beyond the money is a sacrifice that cannot truly be measured in dollars. Before Alex became one of tennis's most promising young stars, her father, Mike Eala, was a competitive swimmer. When Alex was only 13, he put his own goals on hold and moved with her to Mallorca so she could train at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Her mother, Riza Goyla, continued working throughout it all. While continuing her career as a finance executive at one of the Philippines' largest corporations, she remained a steady presence throughout her daughter's tennis journey, appearing at tournaments with the same unwavering support she had shown Alex during her earliest days at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. This was never a family trying to escape poverty or chasing money. And that is exactly why the rumor about Alex buying a home for her parents struck such a deep emotional chord. It was never about financial need. It was about gratitude, sacrifice, and giving back to the people who helped make an extraordinary dream possible. Throughout tennis history, there have been countless stories of champions giving back to the parents who supported their journey. One of the most famous examples is Serena Williams, who famously bought a home for her parents as a heartfelt thank you for the years they dedicated to helping her and her sister reach the highest levels of the sport. We've seen similar stories from other champions. In 2023, Coco Gauff made headlines after buying a home for her family. And in the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao's decision to build his mother a mansion in General Santos became far more than just a personal gift. It became a national symbol of gratitude, sacrifice, and success. For Filipino sports fans, every athlete who reaches that level of greatness is eventually measured against the same tradition of giving back. That is why the conversation surrounding Alex goes far beyond a rumored penthouse. Whether the story is true or not, many fans have already started placing her among the Philippines' greatest sporting icons. In their eyes, Alex is no longer just a promising tennis player on the rise. She is now becoming part of the nation's sporting legacy. Much of the credit also goes to the supporters who saw her potential long before the world took notice. They followed her journey from the courts of the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex to her junior victories at Roland Garros and her breakthrough run to the Miami Open semifinals. They stood by her when others dismissed their confidence as too early, overly biased, or simply fueled by nationalism. Now, as Alex continues making history on the biggest stages of tennis, mainstream media is finally telling the story that Filipino fans have followed and believed in for years. Take a look at the timeline that led to this remarkable moment. In mid-June 2026, Alex Eala found herself ranked number 56 and struggling through an inconsistent run of form. Then, on June 15th, she delivered an impressive comeback to win the Birmingham Open title on grass, fighting back from a set-down to defeat Nicola Bardova. Just days later, on June 23rd, she suffered a disappointing first-round loss at the Bad Homburg Open, marking her second defeat in just 3 days. Then, on June 30th, everything changed. Alex Eala produced a dominant 6-1, 6-2 victory over Renata Zarazua on Court 12 at Wimbledon, earning the first main draw Wimbledon victory of her career. The victory also made her the first Filipino player to enter a Grand Slam as a seeded competitor and the first Filipino seed to win a Wimbledon main draw match. In just 1 week, she had gone from the disappointment of a locker room loss to creating a brand new chapter in Philippine tennis history. Throughout that journey, one quote from Alex has continued to stay with fans. During a WTA feature filmed at the ASB Classic on January 6, 2026, she looked directly into the camera and shared a simple but powerful message: "Home is not a place, it's the people." That simple statement became the emotional heart of the viral rumor. Whether or not an ocean view penthouse overlooking Manila Bay actually exists, the emotions behind the story are undeniably real. Alex's words are part of the public record, and for many fans, they capture the gratitude, love, and strong family values they have always admired in her. That is exactly why so many people found the story believable. You don't need to depend on viral Facebook posts to recognize the true significance of Alex Eala's remarkable achievement. On June 30, 2026, the official Instagram account of Wimbledon, the oldest, most prestigious, and one of the most tradition-rich tournaments in tennis, shared highlights from Alex Eala's historic victory. In its caption, Wimbledon itself described Alex Eala as a national hero of the Philippines. Read those words again. They didn't come from a Filipino news outlet reporting on a hometown success, nor from a fan page celebrating one of its favorite athletes. They came directly from Wimbledon, the same championship that has witnessed and documented the careers of legends like Roger Federer, Serena Williams, and Novak Djokovic. When a tournament with nearly 150 years of history chooses such powerful words to describe a 21-year-old player, those words become far more than simple praise. They become part of the historical record. At that moment, the growing legend surrounding Alex begins to meet reality. While social media continues to speculate about stories such as the rumored penthouse gift, the confirmed achievements already speak for themselves. They are extraordinary on their own, and Alex's journey is clearly far from over. With a place in the second round secured, fans are checking the draw by the hour, eagerly anticipating a possible matchup with Mania and wondering just how far Alex Eala's Wimbledon run could go. Reaching the third round would bring Alex another step closer to breaking into the WTA's top 20, a historic milestone that no Filipina tennis player has ever achieved. Beyond Wimbledon, the calendar quickly moves into the North American hardcourt season, with major stops in Cincinnati and the U.S. Open Series tournaments where Alex had only started making her mark a year earlier. But what makes this moment truly different from every breakthrough that came before is that Alex is no longer simply the story of one talented player representing a single nation. Following her Wimbledon success, Alex has become the face of a growing Filipino presence on the global tennis stage. For decades, the Philippines has built much of its sporting identity around boxing and basketball. Now for the first time, the country has a tennis star making worldwide headlines, competing for major titles, and earning prize money on the sport's biggest stages, all while representing a nation of more than 115 million people. If Alex continues her impressive run in London, international media attention is likely to grow even further. Reporters may travel to Manila to explore the story behind the athlete, her family, and the sacrifices that helped shape her journey. They could even look into the viral Ocean View Penthouse rumor to discover whether it was simply an inspiring social media story or a private family moment that has never been officially confirmed. Regardless of how that story ultimately unfolds, one thing is certain. Alex Eala's rise was never a straight-line journey. It was shaped by years of perseverance, setbacks, sacrifices, and steady progress that eventually carried her onto one of the biggest stages in world tennis. Just 7 days before her Wimbledon debut, Alex suffered a first-round defeat at the Bad Homburg Open, marking her second loss in just 3 days. Some tennis analysts even viewed her coaching changes ahead of Wimbledon as a significant gamble. Yet Alex didn't respond with lengthy social media posts or emotional press conferences. Instead, she quietly made her way to London, embraced the expectations that came with being a seeded player, and stepped onto the court ready to prove herself. There, she delivered her answer in the clearest way possible. A commanding 6-1, 6-2 victory over Renata Zarazua sent a powerful message and marked a historic breakthrough for Philippine tennis. When you step back and consider the full picture, the journey becomes even more powerful. It is the story of a father who set aside his own ambitions as a competitive swimmer when his daughter was just 13, allowing her to pursue her dream in Mallorca. It is also the story of a mother whom the Philippine Daily Inquirer once described as ever-present but never disruptive, a quiet and steady force who supported her daughter's rise every step of the way. It is also the story of a viral rumor claiming that Alex secretly purchased her parents an Ocean View penthouse overlooking Manila Bay. However, this claim has never been confirmed by Alex, her family, or any credible news organization to this day. Then there are Alex's own words, spoken months earlier: "Home is not a place, it's the people." And shortly after that came Wimbledon's tribute, with the tournament's official account describing her as a national hero of the Philippines. Together, those moments created a narrative that deeply resonated with millions of fans. Whether Alex Eala actually bought her parents an Ocean View home remains unknown, but the fact that so many Filipinos embraced the story carries a meaningful message of its own. For them, the greatest gift isn't a penthouse or a luxury property. The real gift is Alex herself, her perseverance, her humility, and the hope she has inspired in an entire generation of young athletes who now believe that the world's biggest tennis stages are within their reach. So, here's a question for you. If Alex were to confirm tomorrow that the Penthouse story is actually true, would you prefer that she keep it private as a deeply personal gesture for her family, or would you want her to share it publicly as an inspiration for the next Filipino child picking up a racket at Rizal Memorial Sports Complex? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you've been following Alex's journey since before the seeding, before her Birmingham title, and before Wimbledon introduced her to a global audience, then you already understand what this community stands for. Subscribe and stay connected with the people who believed in her before the rest of the world caught up. The supporters who recognized her potential from the very beginning are still here, cheering her on every